Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and thank you so much to my honourable friend from Adrian Shotts for bringing about this extremely important debate. I'd like to declare an interest, having worked in learning disability services prior to coming into this House, and now as Chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Disability. Since being elected, I've looked deeply into the effects of the Department for Work and Pensions assessments, particularly on those with mental health issues and disabilities, and I'm sure that many will agree with me when I say it's deeply unsuitable. The inadequacy of assessment and how it fails to take a holistic approach, tailored or specialist approach, which is much needed, is remiss. We must ensure that we harness people's potential and assess them fairly. It's also very sad to say that I've met with many disabled constituents who have been unfairly treated by the welfare system. Many have been left with depression in addition to their disabilities, and their problems have been compounded. Feelings of hopelessness in the face of changes, often feeling that they have little voice. In this House, we must give them that voice. People whose mobility cars were taken away from their front door, left without independence and plunged into dependence. Cuts to disabled people's benefits are simply unacceptable. Surely if this was morally or socially acceptable, we wouldn't even be having this debate. It's not surprising that so many in this House, from each side of this chamber, believe and feel passionately that we should not be taking much needed money from the most vulnerable in our society. What is surprising is that the UK government intend to push forward with these changes which would have a genuine detrimental influence on people's lives. I ask them to think again.
Hear, hear.
Make no mistake, a reduction of £1,500 a year in benefit is absolutely catastrophic for many and will undoubtedly exacerbate poverty amongst the disabled. This is unacceptable. The government's assertion that the work-related activity component acts as a disincentive for people to look for work can only be described as a sweeping statement. There is no evidence to back this claim. Surely the Minister does not genuinely believe that disabled people are more likely to attain a job if their benefits are cut. Employers' attitudes, lack of understanding, lack of training opportunities and access to job opportunities, lack of equality in society are the real barriers to employment for the disabled. Statistics show you are twice as likely to be unemployed if you are disabled, and this is not linked with supports, as these are actually vital to help people find employment, make adaptations and remain in employment. The costs for disabled people are much higher, and we must acknowledge this. I was pleased myself to hold a Disability Confident event in my constituency a few months ago to speak directly with employers to help them overcome preconceptions and provide them with information about the positive supports that they can access to employ people with disability, and I would urge MPs across the House to do the same. This month I am hosting my constituency of East Kilbride, Straven and Lesmahago Small Business Awards, and I've developed a specific award for inclusive employers. I want as an MP to ensure that there's support for our small businesses who provide jobs, and specifically inclusive jobs. The Disability All-Party Parliamentary Group that I have a real privilege of chairing will be publishing our inquiry report in the coming weeks on practical measures for government across business and industry and organisations to assist disabled people into work and to halve the employment gap. I have specifically asked that the Minister commit to meeting with our group, which is cross-party, and to look at the report, which now has the support of 7 parties across this House. Together with the Minister, we spoke recently at an event in Parliament where we brought inspirational Paralympians to Westminster. We championed their achievements. I ask that we build on this. Let's look at support. Let's look at abilities, not disabilities. Let's look at people's potential, their aspiration. Let's look at the opportunity for disabled people to start their own business and to help them to overcome hurdles. Let's not lose their skills and value to our economy. Let's turn this debate on its head. Let's not be short-sighted and do harm. Let's pause these cuts. Let's ensure that the UK is compassionate, that the UK is a role model in disability support and employment, and that others across the world can look up to us in our endeavours.
Hear, hear.